Hey, good morning. Today we are in the book of 1 Samuel that's in the Hebrew Bible. And in it, there's this little boy named Sam who is living in the tabernacle. He's been dedicated by his mama, Hannah, and he is living in the tabernacle serving God. It's a real quiet time. Not many people are hearing from God at this time. Verse 1 in chapter 3 says this: "The boy Samuel continued to serve the Eternal One under the guidance of Eli. In those days, messages from the Eternal were rare, and sacred dreams or visions were given to very few." Not a lot of people were hearing from God, because I think not a lot of people were listening. And here's Samuel, and one night he's about to go to sleep. It's nighttime, and Eli, who is very old and pretty much legally blind at this point, is lying in his room. Sam is sleeping near the Ark of the Covenant, and Sam hears a voice saying, "Samuel." And he runs in, and he wakes up Eli, and he's like, "Hey, what did you need? I heard your voice." And Eli's like, "What? I didn't call you. Go back to bed. Leave me alone." So Samuel goes back to bed, and it happens 2 more times. 2 more times he lies down. 2 more times he hears this voice saying, "Samuel." And he runs in each time to Eli. And Eli's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Finally, Eli gets a clue and realizes it just might be God trying to speak to the boy. So he tells Sam, "Go back and listen. Go back and say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" At this time, Samuel is serving God, but he doesn't know him. Verse 7 says this: "Samuel did not recognize the voice of the Eternal One, for the word of the Eternal had not been revealed to Samuel yet." He's serving God, he's working for good, but he doesn't yet know the one that he's working for. And a lot of times we fall into the same trap. We do a lot of good stuff, and we serve, but we don't know the one. And that's the whole point. So finally, he gets introduced to the one that he's serving. He doesn't recognize the voice of God at first, but he's got to tune in. He's got to get on the right frequency by just praying, "Speak, God, I'm your servant, and I am ready to listen." We've got to learn to listen. It seems that most of us are pretty noisy. We're good at talking. We're good at making a lot of noise, but we need to just learn to listen, especially to the one who gave us the ability to communicate. It's real important. Now, something real cool happens to Samuel as he learns to listen. He becomes a voice. In verse number 19 in chapter 3, it says this: "As Samuel grew, the Eternal One guided him, and none of his words were lost on Samuel." I love that. None of his words, none of God's words, none of the words of the Eternal One were lost on Samuel. I think a lot of times we lose our way because we don't listen. And so God's words are lost on us. None of the words of the Eternal One were lost on Samuel. He listened to everything God had to say to him. And because he listened, he became a voice. In chapter 4, verse 1, it says this: "And all of Israel was influenced by Samuel's words." Samuel listened, Samuel became a voice. Because Samuel listened to God and listened to his voice, Samuel became a voice to his generation. If we want to be a voice, we've got to learn to listen. If we want to be a voice to our generation, if we want to be a voice to the people around us, we got to listen to the voice of God. Real important. God bless you guys. Giddy up. Take some time to listen to God today.